Have you ever just stopped and really thought about two of the most basic facts of our existence? That we're all living on a giant sphere, and that sphere is spinning through space at over 1,000 kilometers an hour. It's kind of wild. So today, let's dive into that. The physics behind why our world is round, and why we aren't all just flung off into space. Well, it's absolutely fascinating. We're going to start with a couple of questions that humans have been asking for thousands of years. Way, way before anyone had ever seen a picture of our planet from orbit. So first up, the really big one. We're told the Earth is a sphere, but why? Why that shape? Why not a cube or a flat disk or, I don't know, a pyramid? What is it, what fundamental force in the universe that makes it this specific shape? And that leads right into the second question, which feels a little more personal, right? If you're standing on the equator, you are moving at about 465 meters every single second. That is faster than a jumbo jet. So how come we don't feel it? And more importantly, what is keeping us from just flying off into the cosmos? Okay, but before we get into all the modern physics, I think it's really important to appreciate that we've known the answer to that first question about the Earth's shape for a very, very long time. I mean, this isn't new science. This is ancient observation at its absolute finest. It's just amazing to think that the ancient Greeks, guys like Aristotle, didn't need rockets or satellites to figure this out. All they needed were their eyes and their brains. They noticed that during a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow on the moon is always a perfect circle, and the only object that casts a circular shadow from any angle is a sphere. They also realized that as you travel south, new stars appear on the horizon. That just can't happen on a flat surface. And of course, every sailor knew that when a ship is sailing away, the hull disappears first, and the mast is the last thing you see sink below the curve of the horizon. Simple, elegant proof. And just look at this timeline of discovery. It's incredible. It started as this philosophical idea with Pythagoras. Then it gets backed up by hard observational evidence from Aristotle. And this is the amazing part, Eratosthenes actually mathematically measured the Earth's circumference, and he got it right to within just a few percent of the actual value. We're talking over 2,200 years ago. So the ancients knew that the Earth was round. Now let's get to the fun part, why it has to be. And the answer really comes down to a single, unbelievably powerful force, gravity. The key concept here has a bit of a fancy name, hydrostatic equilibrium. But don't let the name fool you, the idea is actually pretty straightforward. Basically, if you pile up enough stuff, enough mass in one place, its own gravity becomes so powerful that it literally crushes itself into the most efficient, compact shape possible. Just think of it like a giant cosmic tug of war. On one side, you've got gravity, constantly trying to pull every single atom of the Earth inward, toward the very center of its mass. But on the other side, you've got the internal pressure of all that rock and molten metal pushing outward, resisting being crushed. Hydrostatic equilibrium, well, that's just the point where those two massive forces find their perfect, stable balance. So why a sphere? Well, because a sphere is the laziest shape in the universe, gravitationally speaking. It's the one shape where every single point on the surface is as close to the center of mass as it can possibly get. You couldn't have a mountain the size of a continent because gravity would just see all that extra potential energy and over millions of years pull it down until everything is balanced out again. And this isn't just a cool theory, it's literally how we classify objects in the solar system today. To officially be called a planet or even a dwarf planet like Pluto, an object has to be massive enough to pull itself into this round shape. Smaller things like most asteroids and comets, they just don't have enough gravitational muscle, and that's why they get to stay as these weird, irregular, potato-shaped lumps. Okay, so gravity makes the Earth round. Check. But that brings us right back to our second question. How does that exact same force keep us stuck to a surface that's spinning so incredibly fast? The short answer is just beautiful in its simplicity. It really just boils down to this. Gravity is just way, way, way stronger than the force trying to throw us off. So to really get this, you have to kind of redefine what down means. See, down isn't some fixed direction in the universe. Down is simply the direction toward the center of the Earth's immense gravity. It doesn't matter if you're in New York or Australia. Gravity is pulling you straight toward the core right beneath your feet. That's down. Okay, let's actually put some numbers on this because this is where it gets really clear.
For an average person, let's say about 68 kilograms or 150 pounds, the force of gravity pulling them down, anchoring them to the surface, is about 667 newtons. Remember that number. That's the strength of our anchor.
Now, what about the force trying to fling us off? That's the centrifugal force from the Earth's spin. Even where it's strongest, right at the equator, it's only trying to push that same person outward with a force of about 2.3 newtons. I mean, just look at those two forces side by side. It's not even a contest, right? Gravity's inward pull is almost 300 times stronger than the outward push from the planet's spin. For you to actually be thrown off Earth, our planet would have to rotate about 17 times faster than it does. And honestly, at that speed, the planet itself would probably just tear itself apart anyway. So there we have it. The Earth is a sphere because of gravity, and that same gravity easily keeps us stuck to it. But the story has one last, really fascinating little twist, because the Earth isn't a perfect sphere. See, while that centrifugal force isn't nearly strong enough to throw us into space, it isn't completely powerless either. Over billions of years, that constant little outward push at the equator has caused the planet to bulge out slightly around its middle. So the true shape of the Earth is what's called an oblate spheroid. It's just a tiny bit squashed, a little wider than it is tall. And you can see this exact same effect all across the solar system. Planets that spin slowly, like Mercury, are almost perfect spheres. But then you look at a planet like Saturn, it's way less dense than Earth, and it spins super fast. A day there is only about 10.5 hours long. So its bulge is huge. You can actually see how squashed it is with a good backyard telescope. And what's even crazier is that our planet's shape is still actively changing. During the last ice age, the incredible weight of the glaciers literally pushed the Earth's crust down. Now that all that ice is gone, places like Hudson Bay and Canada are still slowly rising back up, rebounding by over a centimeter every single year, as the planet gradually settles back into equilibrium. So the next time you think about our world, don't just picture a static blue marble. Picture a dynamic body, shaped into a near-perfect sphere by the relentless, crushing force of gravity, but also subtly molded by its own spin, and even now, still recovering from the weight of ancient ice. It just goes to show you, sometimes the simplest questions we can ask have the most profound and incredible answers, revealing a world held in this constant, beautiful, cosmic balance.